Good morning, everybody. It's an honor for me to be here today. Thanks for the generous introduction. Today, I think I'm going to first thank you, the organization, for inviting Radisson Hotel Group to make this keynote as an introduction. You know, Radisson has been and is a global company that has been transformed in the last years, and actually, we have also the honor of being one of the key hotel companies for many years already present in India with a lot of success. I will share with you 5 keys that I have learned with a lot of humbleness as we have been able to transform the company worldwide. But before I do it, I have to say that every time I come to India, as you know, I am from non-Indian origin, but I travel to India, and as I discovered it, you know, I cannot avoid to, when I see India and all the transformations you are making, I cannot avoid to make myself a question every time I come here. I live in Spain, that is one of the biggest tourist destinations in the world. I spend a lot of time in France, this is one of the top leading destinations in the world. I cannot avoid to make myself the question of, can India become the future next tourist destination? As I know, you are extremely busy already transforming the country, and you have been like that for many years. But my only plea and the thought I leave with you is, don't forget that also outside India, there is a lot of interest that, if well articulated, can bring a lot of work and a lot of well-being for the Indian country.
Leadership Forum.
When making this question, actually, if I make the question, it's because I'm convinced this can happen. And as you will see in my presentation, there are 5 elements that I have learned that are clear, are keys to succeed in the change. And actually, the first one is the vision. So I dared to draft a vision that I leave with you for whoever wants to take over this vision. But actually, I think when I think of India, and every time I come here, I think of India as one memories for life destination in the world, and possibly the number one. And it's not only memories, but actually it's memories for life. And this is a clear, honest, and inspiring vision.
So today we
but actually, if we think about that vision, it's based on 3 things that I have observed as I come to the country. You have the places, you have the people, and actually you have a pace that is different to what you have in the rest of the world. In order to do that vision, and before I go to my presentation on the change, I think obviously we need to articulate a plan. And the plan needs to be very well structured, as actually you have done in many other sectors in your country. Deciding which are the destinations, deciding which are the skills that we need to build, deciding which are the investments in infrastructure, deciding what is the connectivity and what is everything that is needed. I leave you with this thought on India, and then I move to the core of my presentation. Let me just give you some data first on what Radisson is and what Louvre Hotels Group is. Radisson has 1,500 hotels in the world, 250,000 employees, 75,000
in this flux,
members, and we are present in 120 countries. Louvre, in its side, has 1930, 173 rooms, 30,000 employees, and present in 70 countries. We're looking to these 2 companies and the group, and we look to India. Actually, the presence is meaningful. If I combine together Radisson and Louvre Hotel Group, Sarawak, actually, we are the number 2 chain in number of hotels, and we are the number 3 in number of rooms. So a very significant presence that has been done actually through building the ability to change and adapt to the different environments. Now let's go to the keys I wanted to share in leading that change that has been mentioned. You know, there are 5 keys, and I will try to be extremely simple on the 5. The first one is building ability to change and adapt, and do it every day. The second one is to have a clear plan that includes a diagnosis and a vision, and to do it in a way that solves all the key issues. The third one is an ability to secure the right teams and the right culture, and to do it fast. The fourth one, if I can read it because you are in front of the screen. Okay, thank you. And then is have the consumer and the customer always in mind, because it's critical, and do it every day. And actually, the last one is leadership, leadership, and leadership. So let's go quickly through the 5 so I can explain. Regarding the ability to change and adapt, there are many business books, but there is one that is the one you have in the center, that is Why CEOs Get Fired, and actually has one single idea. The number one reason why CEOs are fired is because they don't have the ability to change and adapt. And actually, one of the reasons is because leaders are many times not clear on what is the phase in which their organization is. This is usually the map of change that shows where usually when you drive change, what are the different moments an organization goes through. Usually, you come to a place, you want to change it, and people is unaware of the need of change. Then they understand, eventually they buy in with doubts, and finally, they will accept the change if results come. And actually, the learning we have had during these years of transformation is that actually, you need to make sure that the following things, that actually not everybody in the organization is always in the right place. Whenever you are transforming a company, you have to do it in different moments, and different people and teams and geographies around the world are in different phases. So you need to be extremely aware of where you are. The second element I mentioned is a clear plan. And the clear plan needs to have first a diagnosis. Diagnosis is the key of any change we make. The diagnosis needs to be painful if needed, but say always the truth. It needs to build hope, it needs to be realistic, and it needs to include only relevant facts, because at the end, it needs to be extremely easy to explain. In the hotel industry, I may be talking to investors, I may be talking to owners, but I may be talking to a receptionist. And you need to be able to explain to them what's happening in the company and what is the plan in a very simple way. This is just an example of the diagnosis we did in a given moment of Radisson. It's 2 pages. Don't read it. But actually, in order to make these 2 pages, as you can assume, we did thousands of analyses. But at the end, we had to put those in only 2 pages to explain to the board and to the shareholders what was the issues we needed to face and change in the company. The second element in the plan beyond the diagnosis is the vision. And I will share an example that Gilles Pélisson shared with me many years ago about the vision. The vision needs to be clear, honest, and inspiring. And whenever I talk to my teams in the world, I always say, is it possible that a vision changes people's attitude? And actually, this is an example I like a lot. Here you have 3 people. They have all a hammer and a brick. And they're all doing the same thing. With a hammer, they shape a stone. First one is not happy. And actually, it's because he or she believes that they are shaping a stone. So every day when they go home is, what did you do, honey? Okay, I shaped a stone, or 2 stones. Second one is a bit more happy. And actually, it's because of the vision. This person is building a wall. And as such, every year, every day, when coming home, there is another meter in the wall. The third one is actually building a temple. So whatever you are doing will last forever, will last for the next generation. So actually, the vision is as critical as the diagnosis. This is why, when we did the plan in Radisson, we came with to be one of the top 3 hotel companies in the world and the company of choice of guests, owners, and talent. Actually, something that the Indian team had been able to do, because even before I came, they had been able to build one of the top 3 companies in India. Beyond that, you have the plan itself, diagnosis, vision, and plans. And the plans need to be complete, concrete, sufficient, and understandable. And then, as you saw, the same bubbles that I did for India as a plan, we built a plan based on what do we do with the portfolio, what do we do with the consumers, what do we do with the brands, what do we do with technology, and the plan is extremely well articulated in a very concrete way. Third element is the right people, the right partners, and the right culture. And on this, any of you who have leadership responsibilities, you will know that you need to be with your teams, your customers, your stakeholders, and sometimes you are a hero, sometimes you are a villain. And you need to be able to play the 2 roles, doing the same thing, depending to whom you talk. You may be a villain or you may be a hero. And you need to get used to it. And the only way to save those situations is actually using 4 things. First is honesty, second is knowledge, third is attitude, and fourth is getting results, because it's what allows you to behave with the 2 with the two sides of the coin. The fourth element is having the consumer and customers always in mind. And it makes
Grow with Kotak Solitaire Business Solutions. Get high working capital, trade and forex solutions, and a complimentary business credit card.
मैं ना शर्मा स्नैक्स को इंटरनेशनल ले जा रहा हूँ.
That's a big investment.
times. I come from a marketing background. I always like to think on the consumers with needs, emotions, stereotypes, and wants. But actually, I think when you are able to break a stereotype, you make something really breakthrough. And I will give you an example of Disney. In Disney, you may end the day, and it may happen to you that you have forgotten, actually, which was where the park ticket is. So after 8 hours or 10 hours in the park, you don't know where your car is. So obviously, that doesn't help personal relationships. But actually, what happens is Disney has a system based on which, if you tell me that at what time you arrived, I will be able to find your car in 10 minutes. At that moment, the stereotype that I'm going to spend 3 hours is broken. This is what we try to do in hotels. When you change the room, when you put a nice shower, when you put a nice pillow. Fourth element is, as I said, put your money where your mouth is. This is when we made the transformation in Radisson, or actually now in Sarobar, or in East, we say we are going to improve the experience. Then you need to show it. This is the change of a room we did when we started, or a second one. You need to show actually that what you are doing is going to happen. And the fifth element, and the last one, is leadership, leadership, and leadership. These are the 21st characteristics of leadership that comes from a book. But actually, I always do the exercise with the teams, choosing which one is the one you would choose if you have to choose one. Actually, I always eliminate all the first column, even if they are critical. Also the second one, because we need to choose only one word that if you have to choose. And I leave as word generosity. Why generosity? Is because the definition of generosity we have is actually generosity is not to give things for free. It's about looking beyond the obvious. It's about having a win-win spirit. It's promoting empathy with the customers, stakeholders, and teams. And it's actually helping others to do more, to achieve more, and to go beyond. And I think if you do things with generosity, things will move faster. As a last thought, talking about leadership, there are thousands of definitions of leadership, but I want to leave this one to you. This comes from a former president of the US that actually said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. I sense every time I come to India this sense of leadership in the country. So thank you.